all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Just don't talk at all, Gabe. That's what my mum always said. You ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Mama's always right.
Yeah. Mum will beat me with a shoe.
My mama told me not to talk to men with beards.
Mama Aaron.
Shut up.
Sorry.
That was Haircut 100, Love Plus One. You're listening to Live Line with me, Wolfy O'Hare. This is Hull Kingston Radio, 107.4 FM. And I'm delighted to be here. And as I said, I was late because somebody knocked on the door and wanted to read the meters. And if anybody knows where the electric and gas meters are at Hull Kingston Radio, please answer us on a postcard because I haven't a clue. Anyway, this morning I have the Laymen Show in the studio.
Good morning.
Yeah, the Laymen Show are back.
Yes.
What?
Sorry. It's too early in the morning for me.
Oh, I know. Just took him in, Leighton.
Yes.
Just took him in a little bit more. We'll wake him up later. Anyway, they're here and they're going to tell us all what they've been up to, what they've been doing, and where they've been arrested.
No.
But before that, we're going to have elbow and white noise and white heat. Elbow. We all know the difference between elbow and everything else. I muffed that one, didn't I? Here we go.
Check it out.
Just like that.
Well, that was elbow and white noise and white heat. You're listening to Live Line with me, Wolfy O'Hare, and this is Hull Kingston Radio 107.4 FM. Get in touch. I'm just moving the bear to see we've got a teddy bear here. You see that we talk to sometimes, and you can get in touch. And it's email studio@hullkingstonradio.com, Twitter @HullKRFM, and Facebook.com Hull Kingston Radio. And I'm going to put the bear back now. Thank you very much, Teddy Bear. I can now see my guests, Leighton and Gabe, at the Laymen Show. Now, of course, you've been here before and you've come back. Goodness me, that's wonderful. And you're going to tell us all what you've been up to.
Well, firstly, I'd like to say I'm fearing for my safety. I've never been in the presence of a presenter who's talking to a bear.
I was going to say, what's the bear for?
Yeah, what is this
emotional
bear?
support?
The bear needs counselling. You see, most of the time you see when you're on the radio, I mean, this is a niche. This show is so niche. I'm practically in Narnia. But anyway,
yes.
You've got to be able to talk. You see, into the thin air sometimes. And then sometimes it's best to have a focus. You see, and the bear here, you see, has got quite a history.
So he's your verbal punching bag.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mind you, as I usually say, I'm usually on the recipient, of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sort of more of a catcher than a pitcher. So, right, here we go. You've interviewed But Sugar.
Yes.
That's right, our local independent self-funding band. An amazing set of guys. And we had so much fun sitting down and just chatting to them off camera.
The studio's great.
The studio was fun, yes.
What's the name of the studio?
It's called Studio Vibe.
Yep.
Studio Vibe.
Yes.
Right, yes. Well, I enjoyed the video and I particularly liked the discussion about words.
Yes.
About words and what they mean and how they affect people.
That's right. Obviously, they've named a track Snowflake, which has caused a bit of controversy as it's been used for political meanings.
I thought it was just funny and ironic.
It is. That's the thing. It is funny and ironic.
It's,
To be honest, as I said in the interview, I'd never heard the song until that interview. It's actually quite a good song.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'd never heard of Piers Morgan.
Well, most people would hope that they've never heard of
Well,
Piers
you see, I thought it was a type of china. What do you sound it? What have you got in the cupboard? Oh, we've got some Piers Morgan. It's
Wolfie, he's going to be tweeting you next.
Is he?
Absolutely.
Oh, wonderful. What show's he on?
I don't know, some breakfast show. We're not up early enough to name it.
Oh well, you see, I don't do mainstream, and let's face it, I'm never going to do mainstream at this rate.
It's not for our consumption.
Yes, that's right.
Anyway, so Butch and I love that discussion about words.
Yes.
And how people are affected by words and how they become tribally influenced.
That's correct, yeah. So I think the biggest influence has to come from the media itself. And I've noticed that there's a trend of people sort of like being influenced by what they read. If they read it enough, they believe it. And I think that is the media in general.
So it becomes like a mantra rather than meaning.
Yes, it does, because they haven't researched the meaning. They've just read it and took it in. and then they regurgitate that meaning to somebody else, and it just spreads.
I also see a lot of people just enjoying being offended. There is just the pure enjoyment of being able to call somebody out for doing something wrong.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I sometimes meet people that have got an absolute PhD in indignation. It's almost a festival of resentment.
He's not talking about us, is he?
Oh, no, I wouldn't talk about you like that to your face. Anyway.
We're entirely justified in our indignation.
Oh, you can tell. The self-righteousness, you can practically taste it. Anyway, let's have a song and we'll get back to these two people.
Oh, wonderful.
Wonderful. Here's local music, a Black Light Graffiti, and two of the... This is Liveline with me, Wolfy O'Hare, Hull Kingston Radio 107.4 FM, and you can get in touch. The email studio at hullkingstonradio.com, the Twitter at hullkrfm, and facebook.com Hull Kingston Radio, which I've learned to use reluctantly, but I've learned to use it. I have Leighton and Gabe, the Laymen show, in the building.
What's up, people?
Yeah, bringing the chocolate to Wolfy's vanilla.
Oh! I think you'll find them a little bit more spicy. There we are.
Ain't nobody knocking vanilla. It's great flavour.
Oh, it is. It just gets boring after a while. Now. We were talking about Blood, Sugar and Your podcast, which you can see on YouTube.
Yes.
And please, I will make sure that everybody knows where they can find you after the show.
Oh, wonderful.
Good. And they were talking also about performing, and they've had quite a, was it the Bonus Arena?
That's right. They performed at the Bonus Arena quite recently, and they managed to pack it out with over 1,000 attendees, which is brilliant.
Wonderful, isn't it?
Yes.
You want to hear that for artists, especially people in our area, that they can pack out.
That's right. And what was interesting, where they were saying that this was a brilliant idea, right up until it was like the day before, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where they said everything was just not coming together, and they were panicking, and the amount of effort that went on behind the scenes.
Or when they don't have management,
Yeah.
and they're doing it all themselves.
That's right. So
Yeah.
from the marketing to the promotions to the sound to getting the band together to getting the extra actors, actresses, big thing.
That's one of the things that I try and do on this programme, Leighton and Gabe, is sort of impress on people that are listening.
Yeah.
That it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
it just doesn't happen like that. There are moments when things like that can seem to come together in a sort of constellation.
Yeah.
But you're talking about not just an hour's preparation. You're talking about their growing up, their years,
That's
all
right.
of the things they put. It's like you two.
Yeah.
You're not just you haven't sprang out of the Humber. Well, there we are, just like Daniel Craig. Oh God. But anyway, you're not just here, and it's like an hour's prep. You're being amusing and interesting from the point of view of your lives.
Oh yeah, nothing happened in a bubble. So.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of preparation involved. I don't even know how we've ended.
That's a lie.
That's
That's a straight up lie.
We've got to give it
no
some
preparation involved in our podcast.
Is it
Not on
Gabe?
Gabe's
Is it
behalf.
Gabe? Tell me more about his life.
No, we're having a fallout here live on air. But so there is a lot of preparation involved because there is finding people, time and dates,
It's a lot
and then
to be honest, it's actually a lot of post preparation,
Yeah, that's right.
and like editing and stuff like that. All the stuff that we actually do for the podcast,
it's quite
very little actual preparation for recording.
Okay.
It's all of the actual post editing and stuff like that. That's the
So there's plenty of material on the cutting room floor, is there?
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Is there? And you've kept all of the...
There's a video that's we're currently editing, which was a very fun
Yes.
episode. Talked about a lot of stuff. There's things that we can talk about, obviously, on the internet that we can't talk about here. So
Yes.
get yourself there, check it out.
Yes, this is more of a tease, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is.
We're
We
trying
can't
to
give
keep
too much
myself
away.
as PG-13 as possible, Fucking friendly.
Oh, I'm so old, I'm certificate A. Yes, and also they were talking about that buzz of performing, and,
Yes.
and how, if you are a performer and you say, if you have packed out a sort of concert venue or something like that, then the fun stops and you have to go back to being you, and that's actually
right.
quite something to be managed.
That's right. The fun stops, and then you've got to pack up all your instruments, clean up the venue, whatnot.
Yeah, get back to work.
That's right.
Yes, because most people have work to go to.
Yeah, yes.
If they're performers. When I remember when I was at school, people say, "Oh, I want to be an actor." What they meant was they want to be a wonderfully successful actor that just did that. Well, I know loads and loads of actors, and they serve coffee during the day, and then on stage at night.
That's right. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll get back to you very shortly, but that's a very, very long piano rit. And that was Lee Starr and Caught in a Dream. And that was some local music. We love to play local music on this show. You're listening to Liveline? Yes, with me, Wolfy O'Hare. Hull Kingston Radio 107.4 FM.
Would you like a coffee, Wolfy?
Oh, I'll tell you what I'd love. I'd love something for you two to have something with our E numbers in.
That's how I survive.
Is it what? Whoa,
I have E-numbers coursing through my veins.
Oh, yes, along with everything else.
Filter.
Yes, wonderful. I have to have, what keeps my heart beating in the morning is usually just a little bit of a bit of fervour, or a bit of interest in life. I open the curtains and I have a look what's going on, and I'm thinking I shall connect with the world.
I imagine you to have a continental breakfast. What do you have for breakfast?
If I get a cup of coffee, it's a continental breakfast. Come on, well, it used to be in my day. Nobody ate. I never ate solid food till 1980. Come on.
Did you survive on porridge? I survived on hard graft.
It was just pills and pills and coffee and fags.
The Laymen show do not condone pills.
Delicious though.
Yes, I know, but it was honey porridge.
Lots of vitamin C.
Lots of vitamin C and vitamin D and multivitamins, yes, and all kinds of things
Zinc.
that made me brighter. Zinc? Oh, that's for me bones nowadays. That's for me bones. If I fall over, I just turn into a pile of dust. You see there, their little eyes are glistening, and they're going to be very, very naughty, but not at my expense.
Sorry.
Not expenses. Not until you get me onto your own show, and then I can be unleashed.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wolfy Unleashed. That is the name of the episode.
And that's absolutely, and you can get me on with somebody else that really needs a good tongue lashing. Wonderful.
Oh, who could that be?
Oh,
the options.
you just have a think.
Yes,
Who do you think? Yes, we'll have fun.
Who's your worst guest, Wolfy?
Oh, that would be a good show.
It would, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it be good? Because let's pick my worst guest.
Yes.
Usually the one that never turns up, never tells you. How about that? No, it would be invidious for me to announce to the world which one.
The Laymen.
Yes.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses coming tribute coming to Old School House next year. I'm looking for it. Yes. You good? Yeah. We haven't been told what right yet.
Never really appreciate tributes.
I know, it depends how good they are. You're right. I could,
Very good.
yeah.
There we are. Managed to save the day. That was
The Smiths and This Charming Man. And I was slightly late in that link because I'm having too much fun in here with these two. They're still here, and they'll be here in the second half of the show from 11 o'clock. The Laymen, they'll be here. Anyway, here's some local music and the Escapades and Cut Me.
It wanted to do like a fumbling forward. Look, Gabe.
There we are.
Just sit back.
You've broken it again. Right, just push that down for us, please, bro. Got to make sure this is nice and tight. There we go. Right, that should cover health and safety now.
Oh, that was good.
Anyway, I have the Layman in the studio. I have Gabe and I have Leighton in the studio.
Brap, we're jamming.
Oh yeah, you see, oh, listen, it was even in June. It was even in June, good me, good heavens. And we've been talking about their podcasts, which you can see on YouTube, and you can also have them audio as well. Now you have made a transition from audio, just sound, to being seen yourselves.
That's right, we have advanced. We have now gone from audio, and you can now see our beautiful faces.
Yeah, Lee's super vain, so he just couldn't resist being
Really?
on camera.
Gabe, tell me more
You're
about
not
his
talking about the
vanity.
highly manicured eyebrows.
I wondered how they got that shape.
Talking about vanity, a few days ago, Gabe had such a good beard, but as you can see now, he has transitioned to a prepubescent teenage.
The missus was getting unhappy.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah, she was making some unhappy motions.
Did she call you names like Wurzel Gummidge or anything?
No, motions towards the cane.
Some people have to pay for that kind of thing.
Motions towards the paddle.
The hairbrush. Well, there we are. So yes, you've moved into being seen.
That's right.
And what's the difference? Is there a difference for you?
There is a difference. All of a sudden now you've got this third eye in the room which is facing you, and you become slightly aware of it at the beginning. But now we've got used to it. It's just there, isn't it? And we just do our thing.
Well, as long as you, to be honest, I just ignore it now.
Yeah. So we got to the point now where we just ignore the camera. We know it's there. It's set up. We framed it, and we sit back.
Do you have to guide maybe your guests through perhaps sort of lulling them into a false sense of security?
No, I mean,
do you have to sort of?
Hopefully, our interview style is so
laid
relaxed
back.
and laid
So
back
laid
that
back.
people are hopefully just
we're
into it.
We're not professional. So the guests come in. We are setting up while they're there, so we're chatting to them.
It's a bit late for the understatement of the year, but I think you got there.
Don't hold back.
Yeah, we are very unprofessional. So the guests come in, and we are setting up with the guests. We usually get them to help us.
Yeah.
Well, to quote Dolly Parton, it costs an awful lot of money to look this cheap, and I think, I think, in terms of you being saying unprofessional, I think there's an awful lot of, not necessarily work, but an awful lot of experience goes into being laid back.
Quite possibly.
I don't know. I think I was born laid back.
Do you? So you're just doing more of it?
Yes. It's not hard to be laid back.
You're swimming with the tide, but faster.
That's right. That's right.
We've been at this for over a year now.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it has changed in that year.
We haven't gotten used to it by now. We were never going to get used to it.
That is true. So what we did once we started video podcasting, we went back into our archives, and that's where we found Mike Covell, who was a local historian. And we thought, do you know what? We promised him once we start video podcasting, he'd be our first guest.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And so we brought him back, and we did a Halloween special where we actually went on a physical ghost walk around the city centre with him.
I've watched it.
And it was cold.
That was guerrilla filming at its best.
But it was. And wasn't there a cameraman that was a bit spooked?
Yeah.
Yeah, our resident DJ 3-Star, big shout out to him. He was our cameraman for the night, and honestly, he was a diva. Honestly, he was counting us in, telling us where to stand. The light's not good here, it's good over here. Yeah, it was funny.
But that would be like trying to put an octopus into a string band.
Our own little Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, we called him the Spielberg after that.
So did you see somebody down a passage?
According to him, but I mean, we went back across...
Don't make me despair, Wolfie, don't make me despair.
We went back on the footage, and what we did notice was what looked like a shadow which crossed a light, but it could have been anything.
It could have been anything. Do you know, I've often felt the presence of an unseen hand.
Right, Wolfie, that's probably your own after you've been sat on it for so long.
It's called The Stranger.
But it was good because we had lots of... What I gained from the podcast and from Mike talking, also aside from supernatural proposition of it all, is the layers of history.
Yes.
In the city, and not only just the physical facts of it, but just imagine all of those people, layers upon layers upon layers of people's experience and their emotions and what happened to them, one on top of the other.
Well, that's right. I mean, we are the laymen, so we are the uneducated ones, and we found that Mike Covell was this fountain of knowledge, and I think this is why we like him so much. He's a nice person to have at a party.
But he's also a really good person to interview.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we said on the first interview that he should have his own podcast, probably, actually.
I think so. His own little radio station.
Such a fountain of knowledge that he could happily sit down for an hour, probably by himself, and just talk about
Well,
something.
we had on Halloween, we had Mike Coffle stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did. And he has just agreed, you heard it here first, everybody, to come onto my show, onto Live Line with Wolfy in 2020.
Wolfie, give us the date and time. We shall get crash.
Wonderful, I'm sure. The more the merrier. I love a house party.
But don't tell him, even though it's gone out on air.
Wonderful. Let's have a song.
Yes.
And it's Billy Idol and a Rebel Yell. Leighton and Gabe are here. We've been talking about Bud Sugar, and we've been also talking about Mike Coffle and their podcasts. Oh, well, we've got. He's been in touch, and not by Ouija board. He's been touched. He's been touched by Twitter.
Carrier pigeon.
Carrier pigeon, yes. And he says, Mike Coffle says, it was great fun. 3 Style was terrified. That was a cameraman.
That's right.
But he was like Spielberg. And Leighton and Gabe were hilarious. It was fun to shoot, even though it rained from start to finish. It did.
It did. So hats off to the Cov.
It was. It rained from start to finish. It was like one of those Swedish noir sorts of programs, wasn't it?
We were hunting for ghosts in the rain.
That's right.
Oh, yes. And then Mike also says he does often talk to himself, He's married with 3 kids. It happens daily. So there we are, you see. So he's been in touch, and he'll be ready. He'll be ready in 2020, I believe. He'll be coming on my show, and we'll have all sorts to talk about, supernatural or otherwise.
It'll keep you very busy.
Yes.
Well, good. Well, I like that.
A fountain of information.
Oh, good. I like a fountain rather than a drain.
Exactly. He's no dribble. He's no dribble.
And you know him.
Yeah, me and Mike actually.
Ages.
We go way back, right back to the 90s. When Mike at the time was part of a pirate radio station.
Really?
And I was running a nightclub called the Oasis.
All right.
And I'd set up Leeton Promotions, which ran all the college parties for Hull.
All right.
And they were huge nights.
Oh, you were Mr. Fun.
I was. It's a past tense. But Mike was part of that, and we used to give out flyers back in the day, which was the old style of promoting. So fly postering and giving out flyers. And Mike was part of that team.
All right, I see.
Yeah.
No Facebook, no Twitter.
That's right, no Facebook, no Twitter. Pages, we used to page each other.
Did you?
Do you remember those? Yeah.
I do remember pages. Mind you, think I didn't really catch up with mobile phones until I was 45.
Right.
Wow.
So there you see.
So that was only last year then, was it, Wolfie?
Oh, of course it was. Oh, you silver-tongued charmer, you silver-tongued charmer. Now, what are you two up to? Because you pop up, don't you? You pop up, and you interview people, and you make your presence felt.
Yes.
In all kinds of venues.
That's right. It's like a triple whammy attack. So we do our own podcast, and then we like to introduce a guest, and we get them to talk about their experiences or whatever they specialise in. And what's happened recently is we've been invited to events. So we pop down to these events, which are nightclub events and things like this, and we meet up with the DJs who are performing,
I see.
give them a bit of exposure,
Take some photos.
meet the
videos,
clientele.
Me dancing like a...
Be careful what we say.
Yeah, like an idiot. There we go.
Well, you see, it's all right to faff about, you know. It's all right to faff about, just don't faff around.
About as fine around as no bueno.
Yeah. So going back to Mike Cobble, we filmed a Halloween special with him, and it was such fun. It was fun. It's something I'd love to do again.
Good. Well, there we are. That hint has been taken, and it has been broadcast right over the region. I'm sure he'll take you up on that, because he seems to have an awful lot of fun when you're around. As do I. Right, okay, let's have a song, and then we'll catch up what you're about to do next week, and the week after, and the week after that. So, let's have Sonnets, and She's the One. Well, she's not, let me tell you. Well, there we are, nearly exhausted, nearly ready for sleep now, nearly ready for another tablet, that sort of thing. I've got the Laymen in the studio, Leighton and Gabe, and you're listening to Live Line with me, Wolfy O'Hare. We've been talking about everything this morning, everything they've been up to. What are you up to next, for goodness sake?
This weekend, innit?
Yes, we've been invited to more events. This weekend it's the Hacienda at the Old School House. It's actually a free event. There's no charge on the door.
All right.
So it's a great venue for people just to stroll into.
Hopefully some good music.
Yeah, and then we've got a Christmas stomping.
Christmas stomping?
Shout out to the stomping crew.
Yeah, they try it so well.
Yes.
Santa suits ready?
Yes, we shall get our Santa hats.
Yeah, I've got
It may read bar humbug on the front.
my elf codpiece. It's got jingle bells on.
Oh, I shall never be able to look at an elf on the shelf again. Oh, good goodness me. So anyway, so you've got this, the Christmas stomping that's coming now.
That's right, and we've also planning a Christmas special. We've got some guests lined up, but we don't want to give any clues away.
Ah, right, it's because it's a special.
That's right.
Yeah.
And because it needs to be a surprise.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure Lee will drop the ball at some point and can't resist.
I can't, yeah.
It's just between you and me and the rest of the region.
Yes, indeed. Anybody who follows us.
That's right. If only the listeners could hear as well the music we're playing.
Oh, that's when the true show happens.
Yes.
Well, yes, I'm sure it does. And I long to expose that at some point. Anyway, so it's been great having you both in, as usual, and I do hope you'll be back. Do come back.
Yes,
Do
we will be
Crash.
back. Ladies and gentlemen who are listening, please send some money. Wolfie has us hostage.
Just want to do some quick shout out
Yeah.
Bambino, great bar on Prinny Ave.
That's right. Bambinos, Old School House, Vega. We've got so many shout outs. Darren Williams, yeah.
I think that's it. I think we're there.
But these are people.
These
that
are all
you worked
people,
with?
yeah. Steve Red Eye Phoenix at Beats Bus, Mike Covell. There's so many people we'd love to shout out.
Yeah,
I know
they've
Steve.
been great to us. So.
Steve Red-Eye, you were here when he promised to come back.
Yeah.
You were here when he promised to come back.
Has he not come back?
No, well, he's busy until
He's
February.
very busy. He's
been
so
busy
busy.
until February, but he's going to bring somebody from the Beats Bus.
Oh, well, that's excellent.
The Layman will be his guarantor. If he doesn't show up, the Layman will be here.
Oh, that'll be marvellous. That'll be wonderful. And you can give us all kinds of tidbits about him.
I have information about everybody. Just email us or contact us and you can have it.
Oh, that's wonderful. We could do a show. We'll expose all kinds of things unless you send us £10.
Gossip show. Gossip show with the Wolfy and Layman.
Yes!
Raise some revenue.
Oh, yeah, extortion, we could call it.
I like to say revenue.
Extortion with Lincoln Game and Wolfie. Wonderful. Anyway, thank you both for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Absolute pleasure, Wolfie, and we've done our best to behave.
Oh, they certainly have. They've been sitting on their hands. At least that's what I think they've been doing. Anyway, goodbye to the Layman, and anyway, here is the finest hour, and over by the shouting.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh,
all the best.
Oh, Pete Mills will have you for that.
All of you, to stop what you're doing and listen.